It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. Here's something that might surprise you. The most successful social media creators, the ones on TikTok, Instagram, Reels, Shorts, etc., the most successful ones are not chasing the latest trends. I know that was always a strategy. Just do what everybody else is doing, and because everybody else is watching those kinds of things, you will be seen and found as well. And as much as that used to be true, times have changed. I mean, how many times have you gone online and have seen nothing beats a jet to holiday, and right now you could save 50 pounds per person? That's totally the wrong accent. I can't do accents. Just ask my family. They know this. But you've probably heard that before because everybody's doing it, and you just get blended in. In fact, I just analyzed the strategies behind some of the biggest social media success stories of 2025, and what I found will completely change how you think about growing your audience. And right now in this episode, I'm going to share 5 principles that are working right now, not just for big creators, but for everyday entrepreneurs and business owners like you who want to build a meaningful business online. Plus, I'll tell you about the one mistake that's keeping 90% of creators stuck in what I like to call maintenance mode, and how to break free from it starting now. So welcome again to session 885 of the SPI podcast. If you are new here, this is where entrepreneurs come to learn how to build businesses that serve others while creating freedom for themselves. And that's you. I want you to have freedom as well. And it starts with getting found, getting noticed. And a lot of times online, that starts with social media. And we're going to dive deep today on what's working, not the shiny objects and the growth hacks, but the fundamental principles that successful creators are using to build real, sustainable audiences. And I've been studying this stuff very obsessively lately, partly because of my own experiments like my Pokemon content that is generated over 4.5 billion views in about a year's time, which is kind of crazy, but also because I keep seeing the same patterns emerge among several different creators across different platforms. So whether you're just starting out or you've been creating content for years, this episode is going to give you a clear roadmap to what to focus on. So let's dive in. Before we get into the tactics, we first need to talk about the biggest and most fundamental shift that has happened in social media. And if you don't understand this shift, nothing else I'm going to share with you will make sense. Social media isn't social anymore. It's just media. Now, I know that sounds like a small distinction, but it changes everything. In the old days, I mean, we're talking 2010s all the way through 2020 maybe. Sad to say that that's the olden days, but that's how quickly this stuff moves, right? Social platforms back then were designed to connect you with people that you already knew, right? Your content was primarily shown to your followers, your subscribers, and the goal was social connection. I miss those days. I missed when I could just publish something and know that the people who subscribed to it would see it. Now, even people who are subscribed or following your channel may not see that stuff because of the algorithms, because how things have changed, because we're now talking about media, not just social media. I think it was TikTok. They came along and changed the game completely with their algorithm. It wasn't built for social connection. It was built for media consumption, just like YouTube. And it worked so well that every other platform shifted into the same direction. Now, instead of showing your content primarily to your followers, these platforms are focused on one thing: matching great content with the right viewers, regardless of whether those viewers follow you or not. This is actually great news for creators as much as it doesn't sound great because, again, how could you be okay with your subscribers not seeing your stuff? But this means growth can happen, and it means you don't need a massive following to get massive reach, and that's the biggest benefit. I've seen creators with 500 followers get millions of views on a single video because the algorithm determined it was exactly what certain viewers wanted to see. But what does this mean for your strategy? You can't think like you're posting to your friends anymore. You need to think like you're creating media for strangers who might become friends. The riches are still in the niches, but you have to understand that the niches don't grow if you're just sharing stuff to people who already know you exist. You need to understand that growth happens from people who don't yet know you exist and getting in front of them through the content that you create on social media. So here is principle number 1. Precision over breadth. So principle number 1, precision beats breadth every single time. Now, don't get me wrong here. There's a little nuance in here, right? Yes, the riches are in the niches, like I said, but on social media, you got to understand that you still have to reach more people. And if you were to get too narrow, it is going to immediately leave people out. But here's where the precision comes into play. It is in the theme and style of the videos that you're creating or the posts that you're posting. Right? What most people get wrong is they try to appeal to everyone and literally every single problem, every single pain in their target audience's mind. They make content about business and also fitness and then travel and cooking, thinking they're maximizing their opportunities, right? That's too broad of a channel to then want to subscribe to and build a following on. People want people who they can understand that every video or every post or every podcast is going to be essentially of the same nature. Not exactly the same, obviously, but not out of bounds. So you don't want to confuse the algorithm by confusing the humans that are there subscribing or following you, right? The creators who are winning right now are laser focused on a specific topic. They might be talking about it in a broad way, but they are talking just about one topic, right? I think it's Jordan Fisher. He's cast a very wide net with tens of millions of views per month by talking about communication. Now, he is a lawyer, but he's picked one thing and one thing only. And he talks about it in different kinds of ways, but it's still all about communication. Here are 3 things to say if somebody's being rude to you. Here are 5 ways to respond to somebody who's trying to put you down. These are all communication strategies. And what is his business? Well, his business is he's a lawyer. He's an attorney. He wants clients. So he's going broad in terms of appeal and theme, but sticking with the one theme of communication. So even in my own example, right, from my own experience, when I started my Pokemon content on Deep Pocket Monster, I didn't make videos about Pokemon and then business and productivity and family life. And even within the Pokemon space, I didn't create videos about the investment side of it, about the historical side of it, about the, how to, all that stuff, right? I made videos about Pokemon and mystery boxes at first, which then blended itself into challenges. And that's all I'm doing. On the Shorts channel, it was purely opening 1 pack a day. And for 350 straight days, I went every single day talking specifically about a new pack that I could open. And people knew exactly what they were going to get. It was even themed as, should I open it or should I keep it sealed? So with some built-in mystery. And now, 4.5 billion views later, we're approaching episode 400 now, actually. It's only been a little over a year. And the channel across all those platforms, because I am repurposing the same short form video, about 60 seconds, on YouTube Shorts, on Instagram Reels, on TikTok, and now also on Facebook. And I'm trying Snapchat as well. The same videos, just an additional 2 to 3 minutes per platform now that I have that sort of seed video, if you want to call it that. We're at 10 million views per day. That is insane. Now, you might be thinking, well, doesn't that limit you, that precision? No, it actually is something that is more easily graspable. It's easier to share. Oh, yeah, that guy who's hitting a golf ball over his house every day, and whatever day it is how many chances he gets. Brian DeChambeau, right? Very clear and easy to share. Not, oh, yeah, Pat Flynn, the entrepreneur who, I watched his podcasting videos, but then he did like an SEO one the other day, and then he did one about short form video content, but then he talked about audio podcasting and then mindset and relationships and building partnerships in this. Like, it's so hard to grasp your mind around all those different things. Yes, it's about entrepreneurship, but there are many entrepreneurs who are focused solely on things like how to master sales calls. And every video, you understand that you're going to master sales calls, hear a sales call, you're going to get the script for a sales call, all those things kind of within. So again, the riches are in the niches, but through that, you can create it in a way that has broad and mass appeal so that it's interesting to more than just those who just want the video script, right? just to use that as an example. So start with one topic, one audience, one clear value proposition, master that, and then you can expand on that if you want to. All right, let's move on to principle number 2. Again, we're creating really important distinctions here between, different ways that people teach social media and different things that you might have thought about or have learned and what actually is working right now. And principle number 2 here is the idea of focusing on target virality, not pure virality. So most creators are chasing the wrong kind of viral content, right? It's almost like a dream that everybody wants to go viral, but not all viral is created equal. Right? They want the 10 million view video that gets shared everywhere and makes them feel like a celebrity for a week. But here's the problem. With pure virality, it often hurts your business more than it can help. When you go purely viral, you're reaching people across kind of too many different demographics and interest groups, right? The algorithm gets confused about exactly who your audience is, and your future content suffers because it doesn't know where to distribute it, right? Instead, you want to do something that I've once heard called on-target virality. Content that goes viral within your specific niche or industry or in and around it or because of it, right? So you could have a business channel but then go viral because you tripped over a fence and landed into a lake and that's funny. But what does that have to do with your business and the lead magnets that you have and where you're bringing people to, right? If you can create viral content within the space or industry that you're in, that means many, many more people are going to see it, but they're going to clearly understand what this is about and who you are and what this is for, right? This is where you get maximum penetration with your ideal audience without spilling over into irrelevant demographics. Now, again, casting a wider net on social, especially short-form video, is fine. But again, if you're getting viral views for just, some humorous reason or something that just has nothing to do with what you're doing, there's going to be zero connection between all those people and ultimately where you can take them. It's a hard ask to ask a general audience there for something completely different to then go down a path to whatever offer that you might have down the road versus something that's at least in and around that realm that they can get interested in or you go viral for, that then kind of lets them understand, okay, here's how else they can work with you. So imagine it this way. Imagine there's a giant pie with 8 billion people in it. I'm not saying like this is a pie anybody's going to eat, but just like a pie graph with 8 million people. Pure virality is trying to reach as many of those 8 billion people as possible. On-target virality is picking a narrow slice of that pie and trying to reach as many people as possible within that slice. Okay? So, for example, I could probably create a video about the life hacks everyone should know. And yes, they might get millions of views across all demographics, but that wouldn't help really my business at all. I mean, they could be life hacks about everything from saving money on your electricity bill to getting your stove to turn on when it doesn't want to turn on and ways to get rid of viruses on your computer, like completely random life hacks that don't have anything to do with me teaching you how to start your business, right? And if I go viral for that, I mean, cool, I got lots of views, but that kind of skews the numbers because the chances of those people coming into my email list that's meant to help them get their first dollar is not, there's just no connection there. Right? That wouldn't help my business at all because most of those viewers aren't interested in entrepreneurship or online business. Instead, if I were to create a viral piece of content that is maybe business lessons from Pokemon. So now I'm combining something that I know is very hot and something I know about with business, right? I'm getting on-target virality. It reaches a lot of people, but it's the right people. And even if it brings in quote-unquote Pokemon people, because it's business lessons, you can already get a sense of what this is for, who it's like, and the algorithms will do the filtering job for you. Not every video, not every piece of content is going to hit, but when it does, you can be sure that at least if you are going with on-target virality, you are, essentially giving your chance, the best chance at least, to find the right people. The tactical application here is really to always just ask yourself, is my core audience avatar going to find this interesting, useful, or entertaining? If the answer is no, then don't make the video, even if you think it might get more views. Trust me, there's been many, many, many video ideas that I've personally had of videos that I know would go viral, but because they don't have anything to do with anything that I talk about or care about, I don't do them. I save those ideas for later or give them away to somebody else who might be in that niche. And in most cases, it's just more slapstick, silly stuff that, would be fun, but generating revenue from entertainment in a more fun kind of way like that, more just kind of like slapstick, kind of just like, let's go viral. Hopefully we'll get a lot of views and get some ad revenue from that. It's really hard to build a following, right? This is where you see a lot of influencers who have large amounts of even followers, not just views, but followers, because every video is sort of like a prank or something like that. It's like, okay, cool. Now when it's time to, lead into an offer or promote something, I mean, nobody trusts that person. First of all, they're a prank channel. But second of all, those viewers aren't going to convert because that's not why they're there. So see what I mean? Remember, the riches are the niches, and the niches are best activated with on-target virality. Running a business means legal questions are inevitable. Is this contract or agreement solid? What can I do if a client won't pay me? Am I set up properly for taxes? Well, rather than trying to navigate all of this on your own or searching endlessly online, imagine having a law firm on your side without the high hourly rates. That's exactly what Legal Shield's small business plans offer. With Legal Shield, entrepreneurs get access to real legal support, contract reviews, collection letters, guidance on business formation, and even help handling IRS audits. Members can book consultations, upload documents through the app, and work with a provider law firm that understands small business laws in your state. You also get proactive help on tax and trademark questions so you can stay ahead of legal risks. And if a client delays payment, Legal Shield can send professional collection letters to help you recover what you're owed, all for a fraction of what traditional attorneys charge. Go to LegalShield.com/SPI or call 833-570-9980 to learn more and get big business legal support without a big business budget. That's LegalShield.com/SPI. Hiring shouldn't be a hassle or a drain on your budget. Upwork is your one-stop shop to find, hire, and pay top freelance talent, saving you time and keeping costs in check all in one place. Companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in the way that they staff key projects and initiatives by assessing a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web development, AI, design, administration support, marketing, and more. And I've personally used them myself and can vouch for them. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry-low fees. Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. Go there now. All right, principle number 3 here when it comes to what's working today in social. Your hook is everything. The hook is everything. I don't care if it's written, if it's audio, and especially if it's video, the hook determines the success of the video or not. I cannot overstate how important this is. In today's social media landscape, if you don't hook somebody in the first 2 to 4 seconds, you've lost them forever. It's sad, but it's true. And here's the thing. When people share your content, whether it's in their stories or in DMs with friends or family, often only the first 10 to 15 seconds get seen. So even through referrals and recommendations from others who people have already earned trust with, you only have just a few seconds to work with. So your hook isn't just about getting the initial viewer to watch. It's also about getting the people they share it with to watch too. There's layers to this, right? And I've been studying hooks obsessively, especially since going on YouTube and really going deep into shorts. And I've identified 3 elements that I think can make a hook irresistible. First is some sort of open curiosity loop. After the first sentence of whatever it is that you're creating, ask yourself this question. Is the viewer or reader or listener curious enough to want to continue to find the answer? If not, then you have to rewrite it. Oftentimes, you could start with a question as well. Can you buy a car with Pokemon cards? I've actually seen that one before, and that's a great hook. And then you kind of follow it up, right? But can you? I don't know. Now I need to know and find the answer. Second, create a visual hook, not just a verbal one. So obviously, if you're an audio-only format, your hook needs to be even stronger because you don't have that visual. Maybe you can paint a visual. This is why I love using words like imagine. Imagine you're sitting across from an actor who you really love and you enjoy their movies. What would be the first thing that you would say? You see how I already took you there and you were already thinking about an actor or actress? Great, I've taken you somewhere. I've created a visual hook even through audio. But that's not what we're talking about. I was just giving you an example. People can read faster than they can listen. So if you're using video, put text on the screen. This is why you'll see a lot of captions, especially in the first parts of a video. Show them something visually interesting while you're delivering your verbal hook. So first thing is the first sentence. Ask yourself that question. Is the viewer curious enough to continue? Second, visual hook. Third, deliver it quickly and then get out of the way. Get into the content. Get into the story. Don't linger on your hook. State it clearly, create the curiosity, and move into your content. So let me give you a few examples. If, for example, you were a fitness and healthcare person, right? Here's a verbal hook. What if I told you that the exercise that fitness influencers swear by is actually destroying your metabolism? That's a great hook. Now you want to know, right? So the visuals can go there, and you can go and prove or disprove that. Let's say that you were in the personal finance space. Here's an example. Why are millionaires buying this worthless asset that financial advisors tell you to avoid? That's so good because millionaires are buying this quote unquote worthless thing. The professionals are telling you not to buy it, but there's something there. I need to find out. Let's say you're in the cooking and food niche. What's the one ingredient that professional chefs use in everything but never tell home cooks about? Boom. Number 4. How did a 23-year-old college dropout build $1 million business using only 4 hours a week? That would be sort of a business or productivity case study that I could share, for example. One more example. Let's say you're a creator talking about home improvement and things like that. Why are contractors terrified of this $3 tool that makes their $500 service obsolete? Right? Text overlay could be like $3 tool versus $500 service, which is better? Before or after, right? I saved myself $2,000 on a bathroom renovation using this method they don't want you to know about. Now, I know that sounds salesy when you hear things like that, but there's a reason why salespeople use those kinds of things, because it works. Now, we're not necessarily selling a thing, although in that last one with that little tool, then maybe. But in general, we're selling the time that that video or that piece of content allows. Right? We're selling the idea that, yes, this is worth watching or listening to. So you got to keep that in mind. It's very, very important to have that hook nailed down. You have to nail down those hooks. So practice writing 10 different hooks for the same piece of content. Use Poppy or ChatGPT or Claude to create various versions until one really hits home for you. All right, principle number 4, platform as islands. So you want to treat platforms like islands, not ecosystems. Can't remember where I heard this from. It might have been Dan Martell or Neil Patel. I can't remember. But this goes against what most social media experts will teach you. But hear me out. The conventional wisdom, what everybody says usually, is to create this connected ecosystem, right, where you're constantly trying to move people from one platform to another. And we see this all the time for people trying to grow their podcasts, especially. They go on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, they're taking clips, and they're like, please subscribe to my podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. No, people will not move. It is a huge, huge piece of friction for people to move from a platform they're already on, already comfortable on, to go to something like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, to then hit play, to then hit subscribe. Don't do that. Platforms don't want their users leaving either. So not only do the people don't want to leave, the platforms don't want them to. And if people start leaving, well, they're not going to reward you. The platforms aren't going to reward you. They're going to catch on and say, hey, you're telling people while watching on YouTube to leave YouTube. Well, we're not going to send this video out to more people because you're telling people to go away from us. They want you to keep people on their platforms, right? When you post to a platform outside of another platform, they suppress your reach. When you tell people to check out my YouTube channel and your Instagram post, Instagram punishes that content. And more importantly, users don't want to be forced to switch. Like I said, they're on Instagram because they like Instagram. They're on TikTok because they like TikTok. When you try to force them elsewhere, you're interrupting their preferred consumption pattern. So instead, you need to think of each platform as its own island. Create native content for each platform that serves that platform audience in that platform's format. So it might be born from the same piece of content, but restructured to live on that, again, specific platform in the way that that platform prefers. Right? Now, with short form video, it's great because I can just take one edit and I can re-upload it natively onto each of these short form platforms, but there might be something where you want to bring people or feel like you want to bring people outside of that platform. Like if you have a podcast or a YouTube video and you are on social media sharing a clip of it, don't tell people to go watch the full thing. They can watch more clips, right? They can get involved with your lead magnet straight from there. They don't need to listen to the full episode if they're already getting it there. The only bridge you should really build from these islands is to owned media. Your email list, your community, your website. And you don't have to do that every single time either. That's the ferry boat, right? The ferry boat on that island, taking people from rented land to owned land. So very important, treat each platform like it's its own island. This is something that was very, very difficult for me to learn when I was repurposing content for my podcast for the first time, because I was always telling people to go listen to the podcast in full, and nobody did. And it wasn't until I heard some advice from somebody, I think it was Sean West, who a long time ago was on the show. He said, no, people are on Instagram because that's where they want to consume content. So instead of taking people out of there from your podcast, just give them your podcast in a format that would allow them to get it when they wouldn't get it otherwise. And I thought that was so smart. And that is very, very true today. All right, principle number 5, value capture strategy. So this is crucial. Understand where value actually gets captured. So here's something most creators don't realize. There are 3 layers in a content stack, and most of the money is not in the middle layer, which is where creators live. So the bottom layer is like this, just so you can get the visual. The bottom layer is the platform layer. That is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. These companies capture enormous value because they control the distribution. We know this. The top layer is the offering layer. Right? That's the brands, the products, and the services that pay for attention. They capture significant value because they have something to sell. So distribution on the bottom, selling on the top. The middle layer is the media layer. That is you, the creator making content. And here's the hard truth. Very little value gets captured at the media level or layer relative to the other two. This is why you see creators with millions of followers struggling to make a living from AdSense and brand deals alone. The math just doesn't work unless you are in the top 1% of creators. But there is an opportunity here. You can use your media layer to build attention and then funnel that attention to your own offerings, right? You almost, in a way, become, off the backs of these larger distributors, your own distributor into your own sales and offerings. Instead of relying on platform monetization, you create your own value capture mechanisms. So you want to build that email list. That's what we've done here from this podcast since day one, bringing people back to the website, nurturing them. And so as you are building your social media presence, always be thinking, how does this content serve my broader business goals? Don't just create content for the sake of creating content. Create content that moves people toward becoming customers, clients, or community members. And when you get people from wherever they're at to your email list, you can then have a conversation with them. You can ask them questions like, what are you struggling with right now? Or what are the most concerning things in your life at this moment? What can I do to help that you aren't getting anywhere else? These are great questions to start to utilize this following that you're building in the middle layer to be able to create your own offerings on top of. So let's put this all together into a practical action plan for you that you can actually start implementing today. First, audit your current content strategy. Look at your last 20 posts across all platforms. How focused are they really? Are they focused on the same topic for the same audience? Or does it seem to be wavering all over the place? If that's the case, this is your first priority. Pick one topic, one audience, and commit to serving them consistently for at least 90 days. Second, start every piece of content by writing 10 different hooks. This will probably be the biggest change for most people listening to this show. Don't settle for your first idea. At least explore other options before coming back to it, and likely you're going to find a better one. Push yourself to find the hook that creates genuine curiosity and combines familiar elements with unexpected insights. And third, stop trying to force people from platform to platform. Instead, focus on creating the best possible content for each platform's native format and audience expectations. And if you're just starting out, just pick one platform, spend 90 days on it, learn everything you can about it. There are people who are experts in each of these platforms, and you can go to them and learn from them. And fourth, develop your own value capture mechanism. What can you offer your audience beyond just content? Maybe it's a course, a community, a product, a service. Start building that now, even if it's simple. And fifth and finally, measure the right metrics. Don't just look at views and followers. Look at engagement rates, retention rates, comment quality, and most importantly, how many people are taking the next steps in your business funnel. So here are some final things to think about, some mistakes to avoid. Mistake number one, trying to be everywhere. And I get it. You see the most successful creators literally on every platform, and you think you need to be there too. But guess what? And I know this because this was me. We didn't start out that way. We weren't everywhere because we decided to be everywhere. We were everywhere because we mastered one platform, then moved to the next. Mastered that, then moved on to the next. Then mastered that, then moved on to the next. For now, pick your hero platform, the one where your audience spends most time, and focus there until you've built real momentum. Mistake number two, copying tactics instead of understanding principles. Right? You see somebody's viral video and you just kind of recreate it exactly. This is something that I've been seeing a lot, people recreating my videos. And the thing that they always get are my audience members discovering their videos and saying they're copycats, that they're just like, dollar store deep pocket monsters. And we don't want that to happen to you, right? You got to understand the underlying principles behind why their tactics work, and you can utilize and use those. But don't copy, and be careful, and try to put some of your own twist and spin into things as well. And of course, your personality. And mistake number three, optimizing for vanity metrics instead of business metrics, right? Few views and followers, yes, feel good, but they don't pay the bills. And I'd rather have 10,000 engaged followers who are genuinely interested in what I have to offer rather than 10 million passive followers who never take action. Remember, social media is a tool, not a destination. The goal isn't to become a social media star. It's to use social media to build something meaningful that serves others and creates freedom for yourself. So thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you. I hope you take at least one piece of advice from today's episode and have yourself a Jet 2 holiday. No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button. We got a lot more coming your way to tell you about what's working, and we're going to even bring in some guests to talk about some of these things in the near future as well. But real quick, before we wrap up, I have to share this amazing win from somebody in our SPI community. Jake Ruzzi from Handmade Notebooks. This is just proof that you don't need massive subscriber counts to start making sales. Jake from, again, Handmade Notebooks and Stationery just generated his first YouTube sales from Shorts, and he hasn't even hit 400 subscribers yet. This is exactly what I mean when I say it's not about the size of your audience, it's about the connection you make with them. Jake's creating beautiful handmade products and clearly connecting with the right people. And like I say, quality beats quantity every time. So keep going, Jake. Jake Ruzzi, again, from Handmade Notebooks and Stationery. Well done. Cheers, everybody. Hey there, quick pause here because I have to tell you about a tool that completely transforms the podcasting workflow, Riverside. I get it. I used to juggle multiple platforms just to record one podcast episode. It was exhausting. Zoom for recording, Audacity for editing, and then a bunch of different apps just to create clips and social posts. I've tried other ones as well. They were okay, but they were clunky and super time-consuming. That's where Riverside has massively helped. I can do it all in one place, recording, editing, repurposing, one platform, one streamlined flow. I just log in, record with my guests no matter where they are in the world, and just like that, studio-quality audio and high-resolution video all in one. And get this, even if your Wi-Fi glitches, Riverside records locally on your device so everything sounds and looks crystal clear. But here's my favorite feature, Riverside's AI editing tool. You can remove silences and filler words with just one click. Hours saved. With Magic Clips, Riverside also automatically finds the best moments and turns them into ready-to-post videos for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, all without the extra editing. So if you're looking to level up your production quality and simplify your workflow, go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART. It's built by creators for creators, and I think you're going to love it. I get it. You want to grow your business, but selling at scale feels overwhelming. You're drowning in complicated funnels, creating different lead magnets, or constantly posting on social media. And that gets exhausting fast, especially when you're trying to sell to hundreds or thousands of people. But what if you could sell at scale with a simple, powerful quiz? A score app quiz or assessment asks your audience key questions and gives them instant personalized results based on their answers. Your audience gets to know where they are now and shows them the steps they need to hit their goals. You can set up a quiz in minutes using Score App's templates and have a powerful lead magnet that'll do the selling for you. The best part is your audience actually wants to take this quiz, and you build huge amounts of trust before you even make a single offer. No hard sales, no chasing leads, just value at scale. Get 50% off the first 3 months using the discount code SPI. Just head to scoreapp.com/SPI. Again, that's scoreapp.com/SPI.